Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to our first session for week 1. This is going to be a very exciting mod, and you guys get to use Muse to build your own portfolio website. And guess what? The best thing about Muse is there is no coding. Muse is going to act a whole lot like what you're used to in Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. You place your images in there and then you drag them where you want them. You place your text and move it around and format it the way you want, and Muse does all the coding and CSS for you. Some of you already know because you've had me in past mods, but I am Misty Porcher, your instructor. I have been in the graphic design and print industry, that should say 10 years now instead of 8, but I also have been involved in web design for the past 4 years, which should say 6 by now. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic designs, computer science, and a master's in information systems. Those of you that have had me in the past know that I like to be hands-on. I'm going to be there through this mod every step of the way. If you need me, all you have to do is reach out and let me know that you need help, and we will find a time to get together so that I can help you and make sure you're getting the most out of this class that you possibly can. So do not hesitate to email me or text message me and say, I don't understand, I need some help, this isn't working the way I thought it would. Whatever the case may be, do not be afraid to reach out to me. Best way to contact me is through email at misty.porch@independence.edu. I do work full-time as a graphic designer during the day, and I am in a room with other graphic designers. So answering the phone and taking a student phone call is virtually impossible because of all the privacy laws. So the best way to reach me is through email. You can also text message me. I can answer those at work too. So email and text messages are the quickest and fastest way to get a response from me. This month, we are focusing on designing a website with creative interfaces, strong graphic images, functional site organization, and logical navigation. The objectives this mod are to apply the principles of creative interactive web design and usability, synthesize form and function in effective web design, design a quality website with creative layout and a strong graphic images. Using the website design created for Objective 3, you're going to export those graphics to be used on a website. We're going to explain the evolution and current mechanics of the internet and explain strategies in marketing a website and maintaining a website. Today is going to be our shortest lecture of the mod. We're going to go through the announcements, the class policies, and expectations. We're going to take a look at the mod at a glance, the final project overview, and we're going to talk about how to get into the SSD for those of you that have never actually been in it. Our next lectures this week are Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. This course uses Adobe Muse CC 2015 or later. All of you should by now be upgraded to CC 2017. But if you're not, you need to make sure your Muse is at least 2015 in order to complete this class. If it is not, please let me know that your CC is not updated so that we can get you updated so that you have all the latest Adobe products. Most of you probably do not have Muse downloaded as of yet. You need to go ahead and download Muse just to make sure there is no problems with getting it downloaded. Don't wait till next week when you truly need Muse and you can't download it. Make sure you download it this week. Make sure it opens and everything is running right. If you run into trouble, please email me and let me know so we can troubleshoot it. Most of the problems I can tell you how to fix. Otherwise, I can get you in touch with Adobe so that they can tell you how to fix it. If you do not have Creative Cloud for some reason, you need to contact the Associate Dean immediately. Using CS6 or an older version of CC, like 2014 version of this program, is not an option. We will also be using Illustrator and Photoshop. If you have not had DES 103 or DES 104, or the equivalent of those two courses, you need to contact me immediately. Lynda.com is used in this course, and if you want to get the most out of this course, and as graphic designers, guys, I can tell you in this day and age, it is very, very important that you be able to develop a website. And Muse was specifically made for print designers so that you didn't have to learn how to do CSS and learn how to do HTML coding. It was specifically made for print designers. Get the most out of this class you possibly can. Watch those videos. I only have 4 hours a week to teach you guys everything you need to know. I cannot do that in that length of time. Those lynda.com videos make up a lot of what I can't get to in the lectures. So be sure you watch those. You're paying for this class, guys, and I can tell you firsthand that every interview you go on to be hired as a graphic designer, they're going to want web design skills. You need to be able to prove that you can do that. Knowing Muse and being able to build a website with it is the easiest option. So take advantage of this class and learn as much as you can about Muse. Not only will it come in handy for those of you that are going to try and get hired by a printing company or a graphic design firm, it's going to come in very, very handy for those of you that are planning to freelance and open your own company, because you have a big market there that needs websites, especially the smaller customers freelancers tend to generate, because those companies need simple websites. They just need a web presence, and you would be very, very surprised how many small companies still are not on the web, or they're on the web and they're using some sort of template page that they got for free, and therefore their website looks like something out of 1980. Being able to offer them the skills of building a custom website using Muse is quick money, guys, because it doesn't take long to develop a website in Muse, but you can charge the same as a web designer would. So take advantage of this class, learn as much as you can. Software check. You need to make sure when you open your Creative Cloud desktop, just like this image here on the right, that your Muse says at least 2015. It should say 2017. If it doesn't, it needs to at least say 2015. If not, you need to contact me, and you need to contact Sean, your associate dean. You can find his email address in our announcements as under the required software announcements. His email address is listed in there, so if you have something later than 2017, you need to contact him and get updated. It's free, and it is the latest programs with CC, and they change stuff all the time. They give you more tools, make things easier. So make sure you get that update, because once you graduate, you're going to want the latest software. So make sure you have it now. Course policy and expectations. Communication will make for a better experience and learning environment. Don't be afraid to ask questions, guys. I will answer every question. I know we've all heard there's no question that's stupid. There's not. Just because I read something one way or hear something one way doesn't mean that you read it that way or you heard it that way. I may say something in the lecture that you're going, what? It happens. I get it. I've been exactly where you guys are. I've been a student. I have 3 degrees. I've been a student quite often. So I absolutely understand. I say something you don't understand. Don't be afraid to say, I had no idea what you're talking about. Let me explain it to you another way. That's the only way you can take the biggest advantage of this class. If I say something, you don't understand it, make sure you tell me I don't get it. I am more than willing to explain it until you do get it. Most of the time in lectures, I try to explain things several different ways so that everybody understands, but if I do something or say something that just didn't click, make sure you let me know so that I can explain that to you. Definitely email me if you have trouble uploading an assignment. Occasionally, all of you are familiar, occasionally Canvas has glitches and things just don't work right. If you have trouble uploading an assignment, just email it to me and let me know, hey, I couldn't get this uploaded in Canvas, it wouldn't take it. In Canvas, make sure you put a comment in the submission box that says, hey, I emailed you my assignment. By school policy, I cannot grade anything emailed to me unless that comment is in Canvas. So be sure that you leave that comment where you're supposed to submit. There's a comments box. Be sure you put in there emailed assignment to you and hit submit. Questions on an assignment after watching the live session or reading the instructions. Be sure you reach out to me, guys. There's no reason for you to be confused. I hate that feeling. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is feeling confused. So don't be afraid to reach out to me if you're confused and don't understand something. I am absolutely more than happy to explain it to you until you do understand it. Due dates. Your assignments and your assessments are due Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time the week they are assigned. Discussion post. Your initial post is due on Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. And then you need to do 2 replies on separate days, by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Late work is accepted on assignments and assessments from week 1 past the deadlines for weeks 1 through 3. A 20% deduction will be made for work submitted past the deadline unless you email me and let me know you're going to miss that deadline so that I can give you an extension. That is the only way I can work around the school policy that says I have to take 20% off. Well, I do have to take 20% off unless I've given you an extension. So email me if you're going to be late on an assignment so you don't have to take that 20% deduction. It's pretty simple, guys. I know how the smallest things can make big difference in getting your homework on time. It doesn't necessarily matter to me so much why you're going to be late. Just let me know that you're going to be late and when I can expect it so I can give you that extension. Discussions will be closed for comment on their deadline. No post or replies can be made after the discussion is closed. Now, if you've emailed me and said, hey, I still need to make up my discussion, and you've done that, you've emailed me on Saturday, I ran out of time, I still need to do my discussions, I'm going to leave it open for you. And you can go back in and make that up. Resubmissions. I encourage reworking an assignment to bring it up to portfolio quality or an assignment that is a step to create a portfolio quality project. The final assessment will require making changes per the critiques and feedback from the previous weeks. Weeks 1 can be resubmitted to week 2 and so forth. In reality, guys, you can resubmit week 1 in week 4. If you put in the effort to fix it, to correct it, to do whatever to it, and you turn it in, I am going to grade it for you. If you're willing to do it, I'm willing to grade it. If you miss the deadline for regrading, we can just skip this part. If for some reason you have something you have questions about and you would just like some feedback on it before you turn it in, feel free to email it to me or to stop in the SSC and have me look over it and see if there's any adjustments you need to make before you submit it. I'm in the SSC every Thursday and Friday. On Thursdays from 8 to 11. On Fridays from 4 to 11 p.m. Both of them p.m., guys. So don't hesitate to come in and see me, have me check something over or answer a question, whatever you need. For the most part, guys, I am a very laid back instructor. I am more than happy to work with you to make sure you get your work turned in and you pass this class, and that you can get the most out of this class as you possibly can. I know that most of you do not ever see yourself building a website. That's not why you wanted to be a graphic designer. Otherwise, you would have been a web designer. But please, please, please listen to me, guys. Every single graphic designer is expected to have some sort of HTML knowledge. Learning to use Muse will give you that basic understanding, and therefore makes you qualified to be hired as a graphic designer. And again, for you freelancers, this is a simple, easy way to make money, and make good money. Because like I said before, you would not believe the number of small companies that are not on the web. Well, guess what? You get to make them understand that, hey, you need a web presence, because you're going to get more business with a web presence. You'll be surprised at how many more customers they're going to get just because they're on a web with a simple page that's simple 4 pages, home, about, contact, and maybe one other pages that lists their services, or a type of portfolio page that has example images and things like that on it. Everyone in this day and age should have a web presence, but you would be surprised how many small companies actually don't. Why? Because they can't afford to hire a web designer, a programmer, because we're expensive. That's the way it works. When I'm doing programming and not necessarily using so much my graphic design stuff, because I have a degree in computer science too, when I'm doing programming, yep, I make a lot of money doing that. But I also do graphic design. So when I'm developing websites for small customers, I use Muse. And I charge them a fraction of what I would charge a larger company to do strict HTML and CSS coding. Why? Because it takes less time, and I can give those small companies a break and they still get an awesome website. So it's pretty easy money, guys, because Muse couldn't get any simpler than it is right now. And we're going to learn all about it this mod. Grading. I use a rubric for all discussions, assignments, and project type assessments. Reviewing these will give you a good indication of what is expected when turning in your work. Make sure you check out those rubrics, because that's going to tell you exactly what I'm looking for, guys. If you aren't sure, ask me. File naming is the easiest points you can get. Most weeks it's worth 16 points. Make sure you name your files correctly. Meeting submission deadlines is worth 24 points each week. So make sure you meet those deadlines. That's 24 points. That's a lot. Now, make note that you need to have at least 80% of the project completed in order to receive those on-time points. That's another school policy. So if you are submitting something that's not complete, make sure at least 80% of it is complete. Extensions to turn in late work without penalty. If you have documentable extenuating circumstances, like medical, military, death of an immediate family member, that sort of thing, it is an automatic extension. You just need to let me know what's going on, and it's automatic. You need to contact me at least 12 hours before the deadline requesting an extension and submit what you have done. No extensions after the end of the mod. I cannot just simply approve an extension past week 4. That has to go through your associate dean and Holly, the actual dean of graphic designs. They're the ones that actually approve that. So it's not up to me to give you that extension, and there has to be some serious reasons why in order to get that extension. Usually that involves medical, military, or death in the family in order to get approved for an extension past the end of the mod. Now then, as I've already said to you guys, if you email me and let me know you're going to miss it, I'm going to give you that extension. So to get an extension for me, it doesn't have to be medical, military, or death. Just let me know you're going to miss the assignment and when you're going to turn it in. Do not forget that part. Otherwise, you're going to get a day extension from me. So be very specific when you email me and say, okay, I'm going to miss the deadline, but I'll have this to you by Tuesday. Well, then I know you need an extension till Tuesday. If you just email me and say I'm going to miss the deadline for this week, and you don't tell me when you're going to have it to me, I'm going to give you one day. I'll give you till Sunday. So make sure if you need more than that, that you're telling me in that email, I'll have it to you on this specific day. That way I can give you an extension until then. Okay, guys, this mod at a glance. In this mod, you will conceptualize, mock up, produce, and publish a full working website for your personal online design portfolio. You guys are going to be designing for yourself. This week, you have a discussion over website usability and accessibility. Your assignment this week is a creative brief and a sitemap. You also have a quiz on the live session demos and the video and the videos from the reading and tools section. Be sure you check out those videos. Your assessment is primarily over those videos. Week 2, you have a discussion over the importance of wireframes, and the assignment is, of course, the web design mockup. And the assessment is where you're going to build your wireframe. In week 3, we will discuss SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. Your assignment will be building your site in Muse. And your assessment will be your website copywriting. All of that is basically you're going to create a Word document that has all the text you're going to have on each page. Nothing too big about that one. Week 4, your final assessment. This will be a very short week for those of you that can stay caught up. You're going to finish your site, making any adjustments I've given you from the critique. You're going to create your contact form. You're going to make it responsive, and you're going to publish it. Once you have the website complete, week 4 is pretty simple. It won't take you very long to complete. And then, of course, you have the career integration quiz. So our final project overview. During this mod, you will conceptualize, design, prepare, and create your portfolio website to show potential clients and employers your most creative work. An online presence is very important. And along with having your portfolio on Behance, LinkedIn, and other social media sites, having a portfolio site that you designed and produced allows you to show your creativity that is not limited to the constraints of social media platform. It also allows you to prove that you do have some HTML experience. This portfolio site will be something that you will continue to update and add to as you continue on with your school and should be used after you graduate. This is not just a project to get a grade. This is your web portfolio site, guys. This is going to be all about you. A website that has longevity on the web is set up and maintained correctly will have a much better chance of being found. So starting this early is very important. The steps taken for this personal project are the same as for a client. You're going to start with the simple wireframe and the sitemap. Give it to the client, let them look it over. Yes, the client in this case would be me. But technically it's you because you're designing for yourself. I'm just going to be the one looking it over. But guys, and keep that in mind. Most of you are not going to have a lot of work to fill up this website yet. You're going to have 2 or 3 pieces that you want to show in your portfolio, and that's it. But you're not finished on your journey yet, guys. What you're going to do is make sure you keep these files saved on your computer and work on it once every mod. Adding what you need to, making adjustments here and there. That way, by the time you graduate, you're ready to put it live on the web. Not only is it great for interviews, because your portfolio is right there on the web, they can pull it up right then. It's also great if you plan to do freelance stuff, because you instantly get your name out there on the web and you can start attracting customers that way. Your week 1 assignment overview. You are going to develop a creative brief for your personal portfolio website. You will need a cover page and a table of contents included. And there is an example you guys can look at, but the second page needs to be your table of contents, which is going to list where each section is of your creative brief, like the background, the deliverables, that sort of thing. You're going to use a 12-point font and minimal spacing between paragraphs. This document clocks in at about 4 to 5 pages, including the cover page and the table of contents. It needs to be 8.5 by 11 portrait using the template found in week 1's assignment directions to obtain questions to be addressed in the creative brief. So you don't have to come up with the questions. They are provided for you. You just have to answer the questions. You're going to include 3 or more sentences in each section for your content that pertain to your project. You will be graded on the following directions: professionalism and presentation. Export your design into a PDF with the naming convention of assignment 1, your last name. Part 2 of the assignment is to create your sitemap, which is going to be another 8.5 by 11 landscape document. You can use the template that's found in week 1's assignment directions to obtain the required elements of the sitemap, or you can create your own. And Wednesday we will go over the assessment. No, maybe we might get to it tomorrow, guys. We might get to the sitemap tomorrow. And we will go over how to use the template, because you can delete the pages you don't need off of it. I'll show you how to do all of that good stuff tomorrow. In the notes section of the template, be sure you fill out that information. You're going to summarize your page description from your creative brief. There are 4 minimum pages required for this project, but more are usually needed for a well-rounded portfolio site. Yes and no. Depends on how you set up your website, on whether or not I actually agree with that. But if you have a whole lot of work, yes, the more work you get and decide to show on your website, the more pages you're going to need, because you're going to have to break it down so the user isn't overwhelmed by the options. But if you're like me, I update my website frequently, and I only show no more than 10 things on my website at a time. And so I only actually have 4 pages. I have a home page, an about page, a portfolio page, and a contact page. And I update that portfolio page often, usually once a month. I will go in and change things. Add the sitemap page to the end of your creative brief PDF. Don't forget to list it in the table of contents. So your sitemap should be the last thing on your table of contents. And do not send this as separate PDFs. They have to be combined PDFs. And we'll go over how to do that quickly tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at how to get into the SSC. For those of you that have never been to the Student Success Center, sorry guys, my voice is kind of giving out on me today. Okay, come on, Zoom. This is how your screen looks. Maybe. There we go. This is how your screen looks when you log on to Canvas. You need to get into the SSC, the Student Success Center, because you need help from me or from Christy. Christy's schedule will be posted in our announcement as soon as I get it. I haven't gotten it yet, but as soon as I do, I will post it. That should be by this evening. By the end of the day, I'll have it posted. So getting into the SSC, on the home page, when you first log in, you click on your class, you get to our classroom homepage. You're simply going to click on Student Success Center. It's going to take you to this page. And from here, you're going to click Enter the Student Success Center. You're going to type your name here, your first name, your last name. Make it really easy on the learning coaches so they don't have to ask you what your first and last name are, because they do have to send a report to us, your instructors, that you were there and that you got some help. And then you're going to click log in. Those of you that have never been into the Student Success Center, when you click log in, it's going to give you a message up here telling you that you need to download Blackboard plugin. Just click the download button, download Blackboard, get it installed, and then come back to this page and put in your first and last name again and hit login. And this time it'll open and take you into the SSC, the Student Success Center. Any questions on the Student Success Center? Okay. Then guys, that is it for tonight. I just wanted to basically say hi. Here's what you can expect from me this mod and what I expect from you. As I said, guys, I'm a pretty laid back instructor. Those of you that have had me before know that. If you communicate with me, I am more than happy to work with you. But if you don't communicate with me, I have no idea what's going on. So remember that. Shoot me an email. It's just not working this week. Like I said, it doesn't really matter to me why it's not working for you guys. I just need to know that it's not and when to expect it to be turned in. That way that I know that A, you realize you're missing the deadline, and B, you know you need to get it done, and therefore I can trust that you're going to get it done because you've emailed me to tell me you're going to get it done. So not only does that keep me from having to email your AD and send you in the FPA report with your name on it because you didn't turn in your work, I can keep you off all those lists if you email me. That way you're not getting a phone call from me, your AD, from Christy, our learning coach, saying, hey, you didn't turn in last week's work. So easiest way to avoid that is let me know you're not turning it in, because then I don't have to put you on the list because I know what's going on. So communicate with me, guys. If you're having issues, email me. Let me know what's going on. Most of the time, I answer my emails within, most of the time I answer them within 15 minutes. Sometimes it may take 30 minutes to an hour if I'm in a meeting with a customer. I may not see that email until after I'm done with that meeting. Most of the time, I have my cell phone with me. Occasionally, it's a customer where I can't get away with that. But 90% of the time, I have my phone with me anyway until I know that email's there. And as soon as I get the chance, I'm going to respond to your email. And so usually it doesn't take me very long. If I'm not with a customer, then I'm in front of my computer designing. That email is going to pop up and say, hey, you've got an email from so-and-so. If it's a student, I check it immediately and I respond immediately. So don't be afraid to email me and ask a question. Then just give me a few minutes, keep checking that email box because I'm going to send you a response pretty quickly. Now, if you send me an email in the middle of the night, it's going to be a few hours, guys, because I'm asleep. And it will wait till I wake up the next morning. Otherwise, you're going to get a response pretty quickly. So don't be afraid to reach out to me or think that I'm not going to answer the email. I will answer it. Any questions, guys? Are we all good for this evening? Okay, no questions. Well then, guys, get excited because Muse is so very, very, very easy and simple to use. And you guys are going to create your first website all for yourself. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And we will get our first look at going over the creative brief and the sitemap. And then we may have time tomorrow to get our first look at Muse. If not, that's what Wednesday will be all about, is starting to play with Muse a little bit. See you guys later.